Hello, greatness. I believe you are all doing fabulous. I want to start a new series here, reading some books that have some great influence and impact in my life, both as a Christian as well as an entrepreneur. And so I want you to, follow this series as I go through them. So again, it's going to be more reading of some books that has been a huge blessing to me. And I just want to share it with all of you out here. So the first book I want to start with is Christ in You. Christ in You by Joseph Benner. Joseph Benner. And the last name is spelled Benner. And these are essays, short essays that he wrote. And so it's going to be a daily thing. It'll come your way every day. I guess since it's 45, that means for the next 45 days, we are going to go through this and enjoy it, build ourselves up together, because I believe that the destinies of men are with the people and the things they encounter, right? So for a person to be able to uncover and enjoy fully what they were destined to be, it will always unravel or become a reality based on the people that they encounter as well as the things. And some of these things could be the books that they read. So please, I want you to join me. This is going to be a 3-part edition, as I've just said, of 45 essays. The first part 1, is Christ in You. Christ in You. And the second part is mind and soul, their relation to the body. Mind and soul, their relation to the body. And the part 3, my favorite, is divine humanity. Divine humanity. Because it looks like sometimes we look down on this person called human being, right? Many people have not discovered themselves. And so they live a life less of who they were really and created to be. And that's why I'm excited about going through this book with you. After that, there's a lot of books that we are going to go into. So stay tuned and join me on this journey. Thank you so much, and God bless you. So we are going to start part 1, lesson number 1. So stay tuned. So lesson 1 is a voice from the heights. A voice from the heights. I am obliged to use your words and modes of expression, but I must say at the beginning that they are wholly inadequate to convey spiritual truths. I long to help people who seem to be in the same mistaken condition in which I once was. For man does not know himself. And this is one of the greatest things in life. Man does not know himself. We will consider together something of the truth of being. The most essential and the first of all things is being. You are not the outward and visible form that you think you are. This is the feeblest and the most distant likeness of your real self. I will explain by illustration. So when an artist paints a picture, he does not put on canvas the reality. He only gives you simply a copy of that which is within himself. The real picture is on the spiritual plane, and it exists there much more truly than on the canvas. So the real picture remains forever, but the canvas does not. No poet can give you his true poem. He does his best to convey something of its beauty, something of its life, but even then it is far removed from his ideal. That too is on the plane of reality. So what Joseph Benner is saying here is that everything that we experience in the natural plane, the physical plane here, is not the reality. It's not the truth of what it really or it truly is. And as he gave that example, when an artist is drawing something on a canvas, we look at the picture and we are amazed, right? We are amazed about what has been created. But if we could truly see into the mind and the heart of the artist, we talk about Picasso and his drawings and paintings and all of those things. But if you could dive into the very heart and the core of Picasso, you will realize that the things he saw in his mind's eye were much beautiful than what he actually put on the canvas. That is all he is saying here. So let's continue. He said, there is a vast amount of creative energy working in and through the material plane, like the picture and the poem. This energy is invisible to you, but we want you to distinguish between reality and shadow. The physical plane or plane of the senses is a shadow. A faint imitation of the spiritual and the only real. Your work is to show forth higher laws, to live and breathe entirely from the plane of spirit, to create anew from the very center of all life, to make one the kingdom of earth and the kingdom of heaven. So, to bring that unity, that oneness between the kingdom of earth and the kingdom of heaven. Remember, as Jesus taught the disciples how to pray, he said that thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the goal of the Godhead is to create uniformity, cohesiveness between heaven and earth. He said, you are not to think of yourself and the universe now visible to you as real. It is this that constitutes the difference between us. We have entered into a larger consciousness of God, whereas you are content with the shadows of things. Just think how all your finest thought seems to vanish with the passing of great minds from your midst. Yet this is not the case, as you will discover when you awake to the knowledge of a life that ever progresses from the unreal to the true. When this consciousness permeates the whole human race, you will be lifted to a higher plane, for growth is simply a larger consciousness. My goodness. Heaven is not a place, but a consciousness of the Godhead. God cannot be thought of as a personality, since God is all and in all. The absolute is above and beyond the conception of finite mind, yet infinitely meek and lowly, filling all space. As you emerge into this all-pervading love, the true life becomes manifest and is always the answer to the deepest and the highest aspirations of the soul. For it is love fulfilling itself. Thank God for now. So let's learn first and thoroughly that you have been and will be forever. I'll repeat that place. He said, learn first and thoroughly that you have been and you will always be forever. Your present condition is an opportunity for spiritual advancement. Make the most and the best of your life now. And that is the end of lesson number 1, the voice from the heights. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on this journey of growing into the fullness of our being. So I want to also encourage you that if you can put in the chat, right, in the comment section, what stood up with you in this first lesson. I will join the conversation. For me, what really stood up to me, a couple of things. One is that he said, when a poet or a painter is painting, what he puts on the canvas or what the poet writes is not a depiction of what they actually see within themselves. There is something deeper in them than what is actually produced on the physical plane. That's one thing that really stood up to me. Another thing is that he said God, or he said consciousness or heaven is not a place, but a consciousness of God, right? Heaven is not a place, but a consciousness of God. So please put in the comment section what one thing, just one thing that really stood up to you. Thank you once again, and God richly bless you. I'll see you in lesson 2. This is your brother, Vincent Oppong.